Hi, welcome back to my series on Transport Fever 2. We are down at our ports at the Isle of Wight where we are getting a heap of cattle as well as our fish now. And this is our shipment of grain pulling in. And he will pick up a whole heap of cattle. Okay. Excellent. All right, so we've got our cattle running at full capacity and our fish basically, yep, doing the same. Now, I've got a second ship on the fish line because they need to do 300 and the cattle only needs to do 200. So they're being transported over to here and then they're linking in, whoa, they're linking into Portsmouth here. We also have the grain coming down here on the fuel line. And coming down here is, this should be our food. And he'll pick up the cattle on the way back. So we are into 1866. The game has moved along a little. So we'll update you and we'll check in on what's happening here. We have a lot of food on this platform, which is, that would be Portsmouth cattle. We probably only have one train on that line. Let's have a look. Yeah, only one. So we'll duplicate that. You should get a second train coming out of the depot here. Yeah. Might need some more warehousing space. We'll need to look at how much food is sitting here. 200. We've only got 80 warehousing space here. Let's increase that here while we're at it. So I'll put in a couple of extra buildings. The second train should mean that we should be able to handle it a lot better, but there is going to be a lot of cargo coming through here. So, okay, our meat processing plant has pretty much stalled out. Even though it's at level 4, for it to max out at 400, we will need the extra fish. But we don't need the extra fish at the moment because our food, I had to put some more warehousing space in here because our food is going like crazy. 625. Now, the big upgrade that I've made since last episode was to put a link in. Now, I am ready to supply London with some conmats, but I haven't put that train in, even though I've got the link ready. I am shipping all of the available conmats. Well, that's about to level. Excellent. Okay, so we are shipping conmats now down to Hastings, which has had the same type of upgrade that Southampton has. We do have a cargo line. We do have a cargo line coming in here. Conmats are coming in here. And our London passenger connection's been moved to the outside here. This is our Brighton connection. A little bit of waiting there. Okay, so I've got some options here for extra lines in the future when we link into Brighton. And I've also upgraded the stations here in Hastings so that we can deliver goods on the right here without interfering with our passenger services. Now I've also given an option here to come out this way, and so I've got an option here, I've got an option here and here. I don't know what I'll need in the future, but I do know that we'll need a connection into the waste here, and in the near future we will focus on that. But for today, I would really like to focus on the mail sorting center. Now, it's probably not the right time to do it, but I have upgraded here in Brighton. We have Worthing here. What do we call this? Worthing. That should be Worthing Cargo, right? Yeah. So even though I don't have an upgrade here, I really should probably do the upgrade here in Brighton before doing the mail. But for, oops, I've got an error. Let's pause. We have trains clashing. What the? Something very weird has happened here. He should not be on that track, right? That's very strange. Let's put a track into correcting and see what happens. That should fix the problem. I don't know how long that's been a mess for. We've got a lot of stacking here now. Yeah, that's very weird. Has he got any... He's got passengers on board and he's heading to Brighton. Okay, we will get rid of this track. We don't need this track. Okay, whatever that issue was, we have 2 cargo trains. They're now stacking here. Okay, so if they're going to stack like this, that's only because there was something weird happening. Maybe it had something to do with the new cargo train that I put here, this goods train. Maybe it had something to do with that train coming across and messing everything up. I have to keep an eye on that. Okay, a lot of food here. Still on this platform. We need to look at the food here. 271. That's really messed us up, hasn't it? That's because it's a single track all the way through. Okay, I have an idea here. Just going to pause it for a second. You know, when I built this, I thought I had a lot of capacity. That's not actually the case. I am going to give them more of an option here. So at Southampton Cargo, I'm going to say you can use 2 as well. That'll initiate the second train to come in right behind the first train if they're stacked. And then if there's a train waiting for the fish and chips, if the other one pulls out, we'll give him that ability as well. And so we'll tell him, you can go to, I think it's 4, right? It is 4. We'll make sure it doesn't come all the way down to here. No. Yeah, okay. I think that will help. Just to get through this problem that we have right now. So he'll get right away now. The passenger train will have to wait. And I don't mind that the passengers are waiting because the Brighton isn't too bad. It's 100 waiting there. Now he's going to come through. This guy will advance up a position. Yes. Then, yeah, this is why I didn't want to put extra goods through here, because this is very busy. Okay, so this is what I was kind of planning, for him to come through, and he'll come through onto this one, and then this guy can pull out. I like the idea of this one coming across to here. I really do, actually. I would need to pull this crossing out, though. It's getting complicated. But when this one comes across, how does he get across? He doesn't. But as you can see, he can now park here and wait here while these trains run. Because I've got like a cargo waiting spot here now. Because when this guy pulls out, he's going to slide in behind him. Now I've got a problem. This will be the same problem we had a minute ago, won't it? Oh, they're clashing now. Okay, I have an idea. The problem's solved because he can now pull in here. So it's just a temporary problem. But I do have an idea, maybe improving here. I'm just going to pause it for a sec. What I'm thinking is track here across. Maybe even track here across. And this one will mirror this one all the way across to here. And this left-hand crossover would have to come in down here as a crossover, further down, which would make the one track only coming into the passengers. All right, let's just have a look, all right? We'll see what happens. got to be really precise here to get the point that, there it is there. Okay. It's not quite even. How much room have I got to play with there? A little. All right, let's get rid of that one and that one. And we need to make it even because they're going to mirror each other. Let's see if we can get a fix to this problem. Okay, so that's maximum length there. Do I want maximum length? I think so. Leave enough room for that, which would now mean we've got some signals in the way. Get rid of, we don't need that signal there now. Whoop. That signal might be in the way as well. Yeah, probably. We don't need that one there now either. If they're perfectly even, they should link. Okay. So now I've actually got a double track coming into the cargo. So what I'm thinking here is keep the double track for the cargo, and it should match that one there. That means passenger train crossover is here. Okay. Okay, signaling, this one's important. This one's important. Okay, you've got a signal out. I need a signal out there. I've got signal in. He should be able to leave now. No, he can't leave. Let me have a look at this now. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I like that. Let's try that. Don't think I want a train to ever stop there. So we've got to stop there. No, I don't want a train to stop here. That's more like a signal that's saying, like, once I've crossed here, you can move, but you'll never stop here. I don't want this signal here. I'm going to put it in. I'll see if it makes. What I have to be, like most people will tell you, don't put this signal here, because if they stop here, then they're going to make a mess and block all of this. You can put that there as long as you make sure that you've got your signaling on this end right. And now we don't have any, so what I need is I need a train to come around here to fix up this signaling. Okay, press play, Sims, and let's go. Okay, food train coming in. We'll probably have a train waiting here in a minute. No, that's good. Super busy. I'm not going to get anything done today. It's just going to be a troubleshooting episode. Okay, so he can pull out. He's ready to pull out. Have you got food on? 105 food. Okay, have we got cargo issue storage? Ah, we do, I'm sure we do. 266 now, and we have a capacity of another 200. I'm tempted to put a third train on the line, but then it'll make this crossover even worse. Now, you'll never stop there. You'll always have a run through, which is fine. But it does tell the next train, oh, look at that, beautiful. You can cross over there. There's no one in here waiting. You can go now. Yes. Okay. You're waiting. You're ready to go. Okay, we've got a train that I can fix this signaling up. So what I want is a stack here at 160 meters. So as soon as he gets here, okay, so I pause there. Now, based on this signal, I want to know if this one now is 160. Because at the moment, I can stack 2 trains along here, and I've only got 2 trains on the line. So if there's a train in here, and then there's another train caught behind it, then I can have a third train on the line, which is actually coming through, and the only way it would stop here is if there were 3 trains on the line and they're all stacked on this one track here for some reason. There'd have to be something terribly wrong for that to happen. So I could actually check, oh, the inside train's not an issue at all. Okay, so I'll pause there, and he's well within here. Okay, so this signal will never be a stop signal, but it would be a signal to say a train can now leave here, and this is the one going back in the other direction. That's the fish and chips. The cattle train, a cattle train could get a green light here to push down to here, right? And then it would pause here. And it's pausing here, waiting for this signal to clear. And for it to get a signal here, it would need to be able to cross this track, move onto this track, which no one else is on. So he just needs to cross this track, and he would have a go signal here. Now, if I don't have if I don't have this signal here and this train is parked here, this is exactly why the signal needs to be here. If I have a third train on the line and this guy's parked here at a stop sign, a train can advance up to here. So he would be able to leave here, make his way across, and then by the time he gets here, this would be green, go. And this guy would have advanced on, and he would have moved up to this spot here. So this is now signaled. Probably I could have maybe 3 or 4 trains on this line. I'm moving 200 in a cycle of 2 trains, but I've got 300 now. This is a real problem. I can't deliver enough food to this city. Okay, I'm putting another train on the line. I don't have any issues with passengers here at the moment, but it is building up because we did have like a lot of build up before, and they're all up this end of the line, probably waiting to get in because they were pretty tight. Okay. I would like to, while we're doing, the main objective for today was to put a line in here. It's Lower Brighton. That's not Lower Brighton. Okay, and now we're going to make it even worse by bringing mail into here. Can I get that mail line down to here? No, I can't. So the mail train is just going to bring mail to here. Okay, we'll call it Brighton Mail. And we'll need a train on that line. But I'll need some sort of connection. Where's my fuel train gone? I don't think it's carrying much fuel. In fact, I'm certain that it isn't carrying much fuel. Okay, pause. Let's adjust him so that he can do... We will leave some dedicated fuel tankers on him. 2, 4, we'll do 6, and then I want to be able to see what he's carrying on these flat cars or state cars. 5 at 6,000, 4 at 4,500. Let's put, oh geez, they're small, aren't they? Let's see, 160 meters. There we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, he'll stand out now. Okay, so we have linked in the mail. No, we have not put a train on that line. Damn. Okay, what if we use the grain train and the grain train came up, dropped off and picked up mail and then picked up grain on the way back? Because it is not bringing a full load. But in saying that, if I made it longer, it would be picking up a full load. Let's give it a dedicated train. I don't know how long it'll take for him to get out if he comes out of there. Oh, he can come out of here. Okay. We'll buy a vehicle that is, we'll just use our standard engine. And for the fun of it, I want to see what mail looks like. So we'll do little baby wagons again, open wagons. We'll just make it a short train because I don't think there's going to be a lot of mail to start with. Now the question will be is how does the mail work? Well, we'll finish off this episode with hopefully getting our first pieces of mail onto a train. Now, okay guys, I have spent a few minutes getting the mail network sorted out. Now, I think I've got a pretty good handle on this. So what has been happening while I've been building this, I have let it run. So first of all, our red mail, and if we have a look at the map, okay, so our our red mail is mail being sent, and our green mail is mail being received. Now, I've already had mail being picked up at our train stations, and so if we have a look at our cargo train here, he is taking fish up along with 15 red mail. And then if we cycle around, we've got red mail sitting here, and these crates here, I believe, are the mail. Now you can't really tell, I don't think, from the color coding, like what's red and what's green. This would be mail. Okay, and then over here at the cargo hub, we've got red sitting there now, waiting to head up. And up this end, we've got a train that's just picked up, that's dropped off the red and picked up the green. Okay, so we've got 31 mail coming back. And we are running a decent amount of mail already. And that's just from our station pickups. So over here at Southampton Cargo Hub, we've got the Brighton Mail train, which runs the red up and the green back. And then we've got the fuel line is to Portsmouth. Now that can run mail backwards, and no, it can't, because we don't have any means of delivering mail direct here. So I would imagine that the red mail's been picked up on our Portsmouth. This is our meat. It's our cattle and cattle and food. And then our fuel train is actually doing a lot of the mail work here, with mail out and mail back. And I might even need a second one of those, but the fuel isn't really running well yet, and I've got to look into that. Oh, it's not running well. It's running quite well. I'm just not noticing large numbers being transported. Oh, but they're all being all the fuel's coming into here, and I'm just not noticing it being delivered directly into all of this industry here. Okay, so while that was running through the stations are actually bringing in a lot of mail here. So you can see the fish. The fish is mixed in with that's mail there. Okay, so while that was running, I was putting in a network of truck stops. Now, to pick up the mail, you actually need truck stops for the mail to spawn here. Now, I've only just put them in along with the lines on them, and I've told the cargo to wait. There we go. There we go. There we go. I think that's our first. Hey, do you have any? No. Well, why don't we just tell you to go back? Hello. That's our first mail. One mail. All right. So the idea is they'll sit here and they'll pick up the mail and they'll bring it down to this one. Now this is the Forley Mail Delivery Center. And so they'll be able to pick their mail up from here and drop their mail off. And then there's three lines coming out of here. There's Forley Mail, which runs down to this corner, which isn't covered very well. And I don't think this one will get much mail, but I've got one horse and cart sitting on that. We'll see if it actually works. And then the second line is Totten Mail, which comes all the way up this end. I would expect that one to have a bit more in the future. And then the third one here is Southampton Mail, and that's picking up sort of this central area here. Now, it was kind of fiddly, which is why I did it in my own time. Because what you really have to do is look at like the coverage of the station. And then you can see that in here, there's areas that are not covered. So this is covering the areas that are not covered. And then this is a passenger only station, and I don't necessarily want to put mail through here. Now I could put like one cargo platform on there, which would give us access to the mail, but instead I put this one in, which covers this whole of Tottenham area up here, and then this one is sort of central Southampton here, and it actually crosses this corner here, and it catches a bit of area in here. And then I was looking at this station, and the station comes all the way up to the main crossroads here. So there's a little bit in here that it doesn't cover, but this one's covering that area in there. So I've got a lot of overlap. I also put a cargo platform just here. It's not being used for anything other than a link to cover this whole area over here of Totton, which needed some coverage. So I did take a fair bit of time to make sure I've got everywhere covered. Now this station here will cover half of here, and even though this station isn't running yet, you can see it's got pretty good coverage here. And this station comes all the way down to the wharf at the docks here. So I got one here in a central area which covers everything that's basically not covered. And then they're transporting up to here. Now I think this will double as food. I think I'll be able to get food deliveries and maybe even fuel deliveries. I don't think there's much fuel down here though. I think most of the fuel will be covered by stations, and you can see what's already been delivered. So there is some fuel in here being delivered, and there is some food in there as well. So we really want to bring this station online as well. And then once this cargo hub here starts delivering, and like I said, it's only just been put in, so maybe it will start delivering to these points, which would be good. Now, as far as I can tell, we're only delivering mail which is Southampton to Southampton mail. So when I look at, say, an overlay of all the mail, there's still a lot of mail here that wants to be sent, and a lot of mail, obviously, that wants to be received. But the sending of the mail has to happen first, right? So all of the red mail, it's not being picked up because it wants to go to another town. The red mail here might want to go to some of the areas here in Brighton or Hastings or London or Reading. Now, maybe it's map wide. Maybe it because we will have mail in cities that are not connected, right? This is Oxford that's never been connected yet, but there's mail here that wants to go somewhere, and I'm assuming that this is map wide, so it's almost impossible to deliver all your mail until you've got endgame and the whole map covered. Then maybe you could have cities that don't have any red mail in it. You'll always have cities though that'll have green mail, because the red mail will go straight on to stations or cargo hubs and delivered to stations. So the objective here would be to get rid of all of the red mail in the city. But the only way to do that would be to have the whole map, every city covered, into the mail network. But I can see a significant drop in the red mail that's here, so maybe there is a priority of mail going to Southampton, for example. So if you go to the sorting center, we can see over here that we have 5 shipping. That means that they're connected. So there's 5 red mail in Southampton right now that's ready to ship. That's connected into our network and has a destination on the back end. We've got 74 that's waiting to be delivered. Now that's basically what's probably a combination of what's on the platform here. This is our mail train here. So he's bringing a full load of mail back. Okay, well, I made him a short train. I didn't think the mail would be all that busy. Now, like I said, we have been running for a little while, but as soon as we want to go 160 meters, right? Or 161. We'll do 154. Okay. So we can carry. That's not us. That's us here. Okay. Okay, so that's our mail train. And now we've got a lot of mail at the hub. We've got mail sitting at Southampton because most of the mail is coming into here at Forley. It's being shipped around to here. Then it's going across to the hub, and then it gets taken up. The other mail comes through here. Currently, that mail is coming around to Southampton as well and being ferried across. We don't have like a direct link into here for the mail. And then I will have mail will be able to come out of here. Mind you, there isn't a lot of mail connected to this station because remember, this is mostly industrial, I believe. A little bit of food in here. So it will have a little bit of mail. So I would like to get a fish. So we want a fish and food train and a mail train. So we'll just make it our goods wagon train. Because that'll be able to do everything. It'll be able to do It'll be able to do the fish, the food, and the mail. And in the future, it won't be able to do the waste, but we'll deal with that later. Okay, so we'll put this on the red line that's there, which is Portsmouth Fish and Food. Portsmouth East. I still haven't fixed up the name on that. Oh, and that train, because this grain and fuel line is quite busy and it's on the front track here, I'm sending that Portsmouth into here and it will share. So when it, whatever's platform's available. By the way, if you're running I'm running a single train on a single line here that doesn't actually require any signaling. If you've got a train coming in from the other side of the station though, and they're sharing the station, you do need to isolate the station. So I've put a signal in here that it can stop at when the Portsmouth fish and food train is in here. So that's kind of important. Like I've already got signals for this one because it's a two-line track. That's for the mail. And I'm thinking in the future we'll more than likely need more than one train on that line. We might want more than one train on our transfer as well, because look how much mail's up here. So we should get a good, yeah, we're getting a good load of mail there. And then mail going, well, where are you going? Is this making its way? So you're feeling what? What's going on here? We've got nothing, and you're waiting to leave. Okay, he picked up 20 food. And he's going back empty. That's because we're bringing so much food down, and we need that new fish in. And is the fish running? Yeah, that's him coming out now. Is there enough room for him to park here? Yes, there is. Excellent. But we need him to pass and wait there. And then him to go. Yeah, that's working well. Okay, I like that. And now he can come out and he can go in. Do we give them secondaries? If this is going to be busy like this all the time, do I tell him to use one of these as well? Like he can slide into here with only one mail train on. Okay, so let's check in on the mail now. Let's see if there's any mail running. Well, the best way to do this would be to look at the mail delivery and look at line by line and see how much they've loaded or unloaded. And this is an unload spot only, right? So Forley, no. We've only had one mail come in here onto this station in total. So the mail through these cargo hubs look like it's going to be very slow, because I think the station is a priority. So anything that's in range of the station is going to get a direct link to the station. And all of these are only going to deal with the small area that's not covered by the station. So we've got one there that's just popped in. And so he'll leave with the mail. I'm also just using the very small carriages. I think they're Are they Asian? Or European mate? No, I think they're Asian carriages. So I'm using a very small carriage so I can see which ones are my male carriages. So he's not going to deliver anything, right? This guy's not doing anything at the moment. Because I need to connect into more cities to get a better coverage of mail movements. And I probably have I'm probably delivering all of the local mail that I possibly can. So it'd be interesting to see if it slows down, because we have this initial rush of all this mail. And we did fix a problem here earlier. And so let's see, why can't you go? You should have a green light that goes through there. Oh, that's because the mail train's in there. Fair call, okay. Man, this is so busy. Very busy. But we've got nothing here waiting, basically. We got all of this under control. We'll have our fish coming in soon. How is the fish going to get across here, Sims? Do you have a cargo train running in between on this line? No, you don't. Okay, let's finish off with... We want a new train on that line. And the new train will be wagons that can do whatever. I'm going to have to be careful here because I don't want anything weird transferring across. So I'll do that. And we need to put it on... I used to call it the fuel, but I think I changed it to cargo. I did. I changed the name to cargo. Okay. Because it's going to be doing all sorts of things, transferring between the two. Well, we got a massive sand problem. Massive sand problem, right? 571 sand. Whoops. And we need to create 30. What's going on here? You don't want more sand because you're not delivering enough con mats. So next episode, we need to focus on Hastings with the con mats, London with the con mats, specifically Hastings, because we can deliver 800 here. So I just need to get better coverage of, yeah, because I don't have cargo running into here or into here at the moment. I have set up the lines, but I haven't put any trains on them. Yeah, I have fixed up the stations though. All right, need to start thinking about waste. And we have to get this food running for Brighton. Well, Brighton needs an entire upgrade. So I need to upgrade Brighton along with dealing with the con mats next episode. That will be a priority. Mail is upgrading. Okay. Southampton is screaming along. It's doing really well. We're now delivering 560 food, 360 fuel. But that's about maximum fuel. We can only supply 400. So there really is going to be a shortage of fuel here, isn't there? We'll need to think about that in a rebalancing of the map. If I share it and other people want to play it, I really need to think about how fuel is done on the map. Anyways, thanks very much for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I think we've sorted out mail and how to do it. It's quite easy, but if you haven't done it before, then it it probably seems like quite complex, but it is kind of a complex network, especially when you think about how it's like map wide and we don't really have much control over it. All right, guys, have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.